Okay, so for our contextual analysis essay, what this is going to be is a 5-page essay, double-spaced. You're going to have a works cited page in addition to those 5 pages, and you're going to be looking at a documentary or podcast and breaking it down into parts to figure out how the argument is being made and whether or not you think it's a good argument, okay? So the terms that we tend to use when we're thinking about this type of like breaking down an argument are ethos and pathos and logos. These are terms that we associate with a rhetorical analysis, right? So if you've ever done one of those before, if you've heard these terms, this might feel kind of familiar, right? The difference between this paper and a traditional rhetorical analysis is that we're also going to be analyzing the context, the timing, and the relevance of whatever the text is that you're analyzing, right? And so that term is called kairos. And so you want to be thinking about, why did this documentary come out now? Are people talking about this topic? Why would a studio fund this topic, right? Like, how do they think, why do they feel confident people are going to watch it? Okay, so you want to be asking those kinds of questions to help you get at the root of kairos. All right. So if you have questions about the rhetorical appeals, maybe you haven't heard them before, or if you're curious, how would I write a thesis for this paper, or how would I structure this? There are some lecture slides here that you can go over. I also have suggestions for documentaries and podcasts that you could watch or listen to. And so, and I tried to find ones that are free. Here's what I'll say. The documentaries and podcasts that I've included here are on the class theme of scams, cults, and conspiracy theories, but you do not have to choose a documentary or podcast that's on that theme, right? So if you want to write about sports, a sports documentary, or you want to write about a nature documentary, that's totally fine. You might end up finding that you feel a little challenged to find what the argument is in that type of documentary, but just rest assured that any documentary is going to have some argument. If nothing else, it's going to be, this topic is important because, okay? And so I can help you with that if you feel lost. The other thing I would say is that, so this paper is worth 100 points, and we do have a rubric on Canvas that you can look at if you want to get a sense of how I'm going to be grading this. I'll just tell you the grade for this paper and all of our projects in class are going to be almost entirely content-based. So mostly what I'm going to be looking at is, do you have good understanding of the rhetorical appeals and good, clear, specific examples of them, okay? Do you have a clear thesis statement that's doing everything it needs to do? Have you organized the paper using one of the methods we discussed? Do you have a summary of the documentary? You need to give a summary to make sure that the reader has a sense of what the topic is about. Documentation, you should have at least one source and probably only one source listed in your works cited page, and that is the documentary or podcast that you analyze. And then revision and editing is only worth 5 points. I think this is everything for this paper, but please let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything I can help you with as you start working on it.